I never imagined that Bill Gates and call her daddy would be mentioned in the same sentence, but here we are. This is our reality. This is the timeline that we live in, because Bill Gates' Nepo daughter, Phoebe Gates, just got signed on a podcast deal with Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy. She has started her own podcast network called Unwell, and Phoebe Gates is one of the first, if not the first, influencers signed onto that network with her own podcast called The Burnouts. But she's more impressive than just having a podcast. I learned more about Phoebe in my research. She graduated from Stanford University last year in June after studying for 3 years with a Bachelor of Science degree in human biology. And she's also described as an entrepreneur and an advocate for women's health and empowerment, working closely with global healthcare leaders and advocacy organizations. This sounds like a very impressive 22-year-old young lady.
She is definitely speaking at some women's summits.
Definitely. Like, she's very impressive for her age. So it doesn't really make sense to me why her podcast on the Call Her Daddy network is called The Burnouts.
It has to be on brand with the rest of the Call Her Daddy stuff.
Like, I know it's like an ironic thing, whatever, but it really just comes off as performative relatability from the daughter of not just a billionaire, but we're talking in the hundreds of billionaire status of Bill Gates. And she's pretending that she has something to share with normal people.
But that's the
she
thing. She
describes herself as a burnout.
You know, she's probably a little bit better off than, say, a Meghan Markle, because there's less baggage there. But the point shouldn't be to be relatable. It should be to talk about your unique living experience.
I would appreciate more the term burnouts if she actually dropped out of Stanford, started smoking copious amounts of weed, got cut off from her family fortune, and started living with a loser. Then you go ahead and call your podcast The Burnouts. But until then, I don't want to hear it. It's described here as former Stanford roommates and now business partners Phoebe Gates and Sophia Kiani share their experience as startup founders and the complexities of being young professionals, from financial literacy, social impact, and navigating networking. Ever been hit on through LinkedIn? With exclusive access to top experts, they offer an inside look at their chaotic lives alongside career insights from network of thought leaders. Watch them pursue their dreams while trying to keep their lives from going up in flames. Will they burn out? We'll find out.
Look, you know that I always have a soft spot for the Nepo Babies. I do. I have a soft spot for the Nepo Babies because making your way in the world, especially if you want to be your own person, isn't always easy. And most people in this realm don't want to do that. They want to ride the coattails of their family. But let's be real here. Like, is there anything less difficult to do than network when you're the daughter of Bill Gates? People will just line up and give you information and numbers.
Yeah, that's not networking.
In fact, your whole job you could run a networking company, because your whole job would be just being like, hi, I'm the daughter of Bill Gates. And they'd be like, here's my contact information.
Yeah, they'd be like, shut up and take my money. Thank you. Well, that's my face when I see the burnouts.
Okay.
As for the Nepo Baby label, you'll be glad to find out that Phoebe knows and embraces being a Nepo Baby, but she also says that made her freshman year at Stanford so tough.
So difficult to be Bill Gates' daughter when you're going to Stanford.
Well, is she ugly? So I've never seen what this woman looks like.
Weirdly enough, I mean, you look at her mom,
This is
who's
her
quite
on the
homely.
This is her on the right.
I think she's pretty. Personally.
On the right.
Surprisingly pretty when you look at pictures of her mom.
She's definitely not. She doesn't look like she should be made fun of for, or she would. It would be likely that she'd be made fun of for her looks.
No, and she's made fun of instead for her family connections. I guess
she looks like skinny Gypsy Rose Blanchard there, but that's not even true anymore because Gypsy Rose Blanchard just lost a bunch of weight.
Joey King, maybe.
Yeah.
Bill Gates made sure his 3 children grew up aware of how privileged their lives were. But when your father is the man who founded one of the biggest tech companies in the world and is worth more than $100 billion, that comes with a level of pressure. Phoebe is well aware of her Nepo Baby status, but having wealthy parents doesn't insulate students from the culture shock of moving away for college, especially when more eyes than normal are on you. On her new podcast, The Burnouts, alongside her business partner, Sophia Kiani, Phoebe Gates recounted her early weeks studying at Stanford. Quote, I had so much insecurity and such a desire to prove myself. I came in, I was like, I have so much privilege. I'm a Nepo baby. I had so much insecurity around that. I feel like it's so hard when you're a freshman in college because you have no experience. You have nothing. Well, she quickly made something of herself because she believed she was the next Elizabeth Holmes. This is a real headline. Bill Gates' daughter, Phoebe, thought she would become the next Elizabeth Holmes after coming up with an idea for a Bluetooth tampon at Stanford University.
Good. I'm glad. Thank you.
This is why female entrepreneurship is a joke.
What did I say yesterday? I was like, just once I want these ladies to create something for a dude.
Bluetooth tampon. It's like AirPods, but for your vagina.
Makes sense to me.
Just amplifies the music you're listening to on your hot girl walk. Phoebe Gates thought she would excel as a medical entrepreneur. This says she hoped her product would analyze period blood to give instant insights so women could learn if they're anemic, find out if their hormones are out of balance, and receive other medical diagnoses without going to the doctor or getting a traditional blood test.
If you're buying a Wi-Fi tampon, your hormones are out of balance.
So it's Theranos, but for your vagina. That's what I'm getting from this.
Yum.
And she legitimately thought she was going to be the female founder of her generation. Amazing. And
that means she can be on Meghan Markle's podcast.
I think
Confessions of a Female Founder.
And that obviously fell apart. She didn't get any investment or follow-up on this because it's a stupid idea and it's not solving anyone's problems. But
what about an HDMI tampon?
It's a long ripcord there. What I think this proves is that all along she just wanted the recognition in her own right rather than being referred to as the daughter of Bill Gates. And it's more about clout than anything, hence her new career as a podcaster. And her first guest on the Burnouts podcast is actually Kris Jenner, who was a secret investor in Phoebe Gates' new online shopping company called Fia. This is a startup. There are not many details known about it yet. It just says it's a new way to shop online. No one knows anything about it, but they actually made a promo for this startup with Kim Kardashian.
Cool. Posted
to Instagram. You can see here.
Is this thing on? Okay. Guys, it's time to tell you guys about what Fia, our company, is. Fia is an app that basically, while you're shopping, tells you...
Sophia, what the hell are you doing in here? Are you telling them about the app?
Kim told me that I could.
Oh yeah, Kim Kardashian told you you should.
She did.
Oh great, yeah, let's call her.
Okay, you're really embarrassing me.
You're embarrassing me. Hey Kim.
Hey girls, what are you up to?
Well, Sophia wants to tell everyone
This is so bad.
Kim cannot
Wait, there's some logical...
Mystique.
She can't even play herself.
everything about the app.
There's some logical inconsistencies here because she's like, oh, Kim Kardashian said that. Like, it would be a crazy idea to be able to talk to Kim Kardashian.
When you're Bill Gates' daughter.
When you're Bill Gates' daughter, and then you just called her. So this skit just doesn't even make any sense.
Just
either.
Keep going.
Oh, you want to watch the rest? Okay, here we go.
No, I don't. I just think people want to get off the wait list.
Girls, have I taught you nothing about media training? You can't just give them everything right now.
That is a
Actually, I'm sorry, Kim Kardashian's better than both of them.
Better at
great point, Kim. You're the expert.
Starting a company is no joke. So keep Fia under wraps until the perfect moment. Trust me, It'll be worth it.
From the real mouth of a legend. Thank you, Kim. We appreciate it.
Dale.
All right, I'll call you girls later. We have a lot of work to do.
We do. Mostly me. Phoebe actually knew what she was doing, but whatever. Bye! I didn't actually ask her, could you tell?
Well, no shit.
Okay.
That's the promo they made for their new startup company.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is the type of astroturfing they are receiving just right out the gate. And now I'm looking at their socials. The official account for the Burnouts podcast on Instagram already has 500,000 followers.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I saw Hawk Tua Girl's numbers tanked when she came back, so.
You just wouldn't have the opportunities without your last name.
Again, which is why the podcast should just be like Confessions of a Billionaire's Daughter.
That's way more interesting.
Way more interesting.
And make it a solo podcast. Nobody knows or cares who your friend is.
Like, I came back from like a trip to Martha's Vineyard, and my dad was having a weird party with a bunch of people in masks. I don't
Everybody
know
was
where it was
drinking
going.
blood.
Everyone was like, I don't know where they got the robes from. We didn't have any
It was
black
like-
robes in the house.
It was like so weird, and like I brought my Tinder date there, and he was like so freaked out, and he like ghosted me.
Like, it's like everybody was in a semicircle chanting weird Gaelic terms. I don't know what that was about.
I also saw this interesting commentary on her branding decisions. But this is the Burnouts podcast on the Unwell network. Someone on X pointed out energetically, why would you call a network that name? I'm unsure about the subsequent podcast pejoratively titled The Burnouts, considering they're highly privileged Stanford grads. I see people trying to be edgy with their business names to make a quip about wellness culture or even trash. And I feel like there are very few circumstances where that is coherent marketing. How the F are you burnt out when you're 22 and your dad is Bill Gates? Honesty is the best policy. Maybe they could rename the podcast to The Posers. Negative brand names reduce and obscure the value of the content they represent unless there's an appropriate context for pessimism. Obviously, not everything has to be butterflies and rainbows, but it's too confusing from a consumer's view as one of the first points of advertisement. We suck. Like, we're nothing. We're not a big deal. Yeah. Meanwhile, Kris Jenner is the first guest on your podcast.
Yeah.
And the first angel investor into your startup as a 22-year-old with no business experience.
Again, then the term Nepo Baby applies here.
Yeah.
As much as I tried to not harp on that term because I do feel bad for some of them, the term Nepo Baby definitely.
I'm trash.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.